Today we are talking about the good, the bad, and the ugly when it comes to food. Joining us is Pete Gioni. He is a wellness chef, and he's also the director of food and beverage at Canyon Ranch. Welcome, Pete.
Thank you.
So my first question for you as a chef, you're cooking all day long.
Yeah.
How do you, when you get home, how do you eat healthy?
I try and pick very nutritious ingredients and put them in one pot. There's less to clean up that way.
So simple one-pot cooking.
Yes.
And I love this. Pay attention. This is a very simple recipe that you can buy all these ingredients on the way home and make a very healthy dish. Right. What do we have?
We're going to start with 4-ounce clean chicken breast. So it's boneless, skinless. It's very lean meat. Good for 4 people, about 4 ounces per person. And we're going to saute that with a little bit of some fresh tomatoes. I have heirloom tomatoes here and some Fiesta peppers. And we'll talk a little bit about why we chose those ingredients on the table. But you can simmer these all together. And as the chicken cooks and simmers, we're going to add the tomatoes too. Now, optional, you could add different spices if you like. But one of my favorite ingredients to add is coconut milk to marry that all together.
Now, why coconut milk versus something like soy milk?
Soy milk is still, believe it or not, very high in estrogen, similar to cow's milk. And so the coconut milk, you can get a very light version, a regular or actually cream. And it gives it a great texture, great flavor. And then adding something simple like curry powder to it gives it some great seasoning.
I love the color to this. You know it's healthy when it has color like this just jumping out at you. What kind of seasoning are you adding?
Yeah, so I'm going to add a little bit of curry powder here too, which has turmeric in it. Turmeric is great for an anti-inflammatory, goes well with the tomatoes. That'll help lower blood pressure and also fight cancer too. So it's a very healthy dish, very nutrient dense.
And flavorful. We're going to let this kind of simmer right now because what in front of us here is something so fascinating when it comes to eating good versus eating bad.
Right. So a couple things that we want to talk about too is, organic, which is what's more important to buy organic. 100% of your produce does not need to be organic, but strawberries can have up to 17 different pesticides on one. So
strawberries definitely do organic.
Organic. And then there's other things that are not on the Dirty Dozen list. Some carrots and blueberries, for example. Those things you can get away with conventionally grown. But what I wanted to demonstrate here was a difference in the nutrient value, that you can have so many pounds of carrots and tomatoes and close to 6 pounds of these peppers. Now, individually, they're all 500 calories, as seen on the table, versus...
So this amount of carrots right here...
500 calories.
500 calories. Look at the amount of carrots right here. And how many calories are in these donuts?
2 donuts are 500 calories.
Look how much more food you get if you eat healthy. Why do you have a table full of strawberries?
The strawberries are exactly the same. So there's
500 calories right there.
3.5 pounds of strawberries, 500 calories.
Equals this many potato chips.
3 ounces of potato chips, or a quarter of a frozen pizza with pepperoni on it.
Why are people still not eating healthy then, do you think?
The perception is that this is very expensive, but you actually need to consume less to get the energy from the nutrients of the food. So if you buy the right ingredients, and tell me how many people can afford not to drink soda? How many people can afford not to eat ice cream?
There's a sugar effect.
Right.
It's just devastating when it comes to health. Now, we've got about probably 30 seconds or so. When it comes to ingredients, you have a fun little trick when it comes to looking at labels and ingredients on any food you buy.
If you can't pronounce it, chances are you can't digest it. So your body's reaction is either cause inflammation, disease, or stored as body fat, and that's where obesity is really going crazy.
Now, is low-fat food, is that okay to eat?
It's usually replaced with sugar. And the average person is consuming 153 pounds of sugar a year. Again, it's a huge leading cause of obesity. So it's not always fat that turns to fat. It's sugar and carbs that turn to fat.
We have to wrap it up here, but just so everyone knows, this was already pre-made, so this chicken didn't take 2 minutes to cook. This is pre-made chicken and everything.
It'll take about 25 minutes.
But we're all ready to go. And
it's a great dish that we serve at Canyon Ranch at the Venetian Resort.
Delicious. Thank you so much, we really appreciate it. Thank you. All right. Well.